Downtown Reinvestment Zone number 3. Ms. Huerta, would you call the roll, please?
Chairman Mike Pesley.
Here.
Board members Roland Barrera is absent. Sylvia Campos, absent.
No, Roland's here. Roland.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roland. I didn't see. My apologies. Okay. Rudy Garza. Paulette Guajardo. Present. Gil Hernandez.
Here.
Michael Hunter is absent. Jim Klein.
Here.
Everett Roy.
Here.
Connie Scott. James Sedgwick is absent. Dan Suckley.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum present to conduct the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Huerta. Our city manager had some personal business to take care of today, but our very capable Constance Sanchez is sitting in for him today. Thank you, Constance, for being here. Anyone have a public comment? Anyone in the audience have a public comment? Okay, if not, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 28th, 2023 investment zone meeting?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Financial report, Heather.
Good morning, Heather Hurlbert, Interim Assistant City Manager. We'll be going through the financial report today. And so the financial report today will be for the 6 months ended March 31st, 2023. We began the fiscal year with beginning fund balance of $6.2 million. Revenues to date are $3.3 million that have been collected. Expenditures year to date, $768,000, which leaves an ending fund balance as of March 31st of $8.8 million. And we do have commitments to be paid of $5.4 million, which leaves a balance available for commitments of $3.3 million. So looking at the next page, which is just an overall high-level cash flow, even with the available the commitments that have been made to date, we do have about a running total of about $6 million available for future commitments. Moving into our project-specific development, we do have quite a few project-specific development projects, and these are the commitments that are laid out, including the 600 building, the Marriott Residence Inn, Frost Bank, the Nueces Brewing Company, 807 North Upper Broadway, the Northwater Apartments, and ZIZ Hospitality. Moving into the targeted vacant property improvements, we do have several of these. The Retrocade should be finishing up soon, and then we have the Preston and 611 Commerce Venue Hall LLC. The Downtown Living Initiatives, also here we do have several commitments. One is for the 600 building, one is for the Northwater Apartments, and then we have the Preston. The commercial tenant finish out, again, these are probably our most popular program, or one of our popular programs. We do have multiple ones. Several of these have completed and will be reflected as paying out, I think, in the next financial report. Streetscape and Safety Improvement Program, again, this is one that we have numerous of our businesses participate in, and several of these have been completed and will be showing as paid out our next for our next financial statements. So that does conclude my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions, board? Alyssa, maybe at our next meeting, you could give us a little update on where we are on the downtown big projects like the 600 building and some of the others. Just bring us up to date. Okay, thank you. Okay, if there's no questions, we'll move to our executive session item.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Mr. Klein, my apologies.
Sorry, just very quickly. It looked to me like as if, get this back here again. It looked to me like as if the fund balance has been kind of gradually growing. Is that right? Is there an ideal size to this fund balance? I mean, is there a point at which it becomes too large?
I wouldn't say that there's a part that it becomes too large. I think that, identifying what those projects are, a lot of the ones that we're paying out are smaller projects, but we do have some larger projects that we've had commitments to, and then we may have some other larger projects that may come forward. We just added one of the large projects, a large project category to our project and financing plan, which would be a conversion from office space to our downtown residential, which that would be a larger payout. I know that we've also been looking towards possibly doing something with the redesign of Water Street. And so there's some bigger, larger things that may be coming up. With this type of fund, there's not a ideal too small or too
Right.
large. We want to make sure that we can support our ongoing operations, but if there are specific projects larger that maybe the board wants to kind of save for, then there's not a too large a fund balance. But you do still want to continue, awarding projects and having those funds continue to benefit the downtown and not just
Yeah,
save
I was
them
just
all.
noticing that I think this fund balance looks like this because the expenditures are pretty consistently lagging behind revenues.
Because a lot of there's a set amount of administrative expenses which are recurring year over year. But as far as the commitment, the majority of this funding will go to specific commitments as they're awarded. So as those projects come forward, through COVID, it has slowed down a little bit just because we weren't having as much activity. But as you can see over the last several meetings, there have been numerous projects that are coming forward that we're making those commitments for. So I feel like there is, and Alyssa can speak to a little bit better, but I feel like there is a lot of momentum downtown. And so you're going to continue seeing those commitments made and then that fund balance reducing as we move forward.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions, board members? Okay. If not, we'll move into our executive session items, and we will do so under the executive session rule, Texas Government Code 551.071, and Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct Rule 1.05 to consult with attorneys concerning legal issues regarding economic development agreements involving Agnes Water LLC and other entities involved with the development at or near 402 South Chaparral in the downtown area. So we will resign to the back room. We'll be back. Session now back in session, and do I have a motion by anyone?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we authorize payment in the amount of $139,573 to Agnes Water LLC for reimbursement under its Streetscape and Safety Improvement Program Agreement for improvements to the property at 402 South Chaparral.
Just for the record, that's a motion authorizing a resolution.
Okay, any comments?
I'll second that motion. And I'll also make a motion to amend the original motion to authorize payment upon receipt of verification documents acceptable by the city's economic development staff.
Okay, so we need to vote on the amendment
Need a
first.
second.
Second.
Go ahead.
I was just going to second it, but I think it's already been seconded.
Okay.
We can vote on the amendment?
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the amendment passes. Now we vote on the main motion, and we had a motion and a second already. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Okay, so that's the resolution as amended, yes, sir.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, let's see, we'll move on to item G. Motion to approve an amendment to extend the project completion date for the reimbursement agreement with the Buccaneer Commission Incorporated. Staff? Melissa?
Good morning, Chairman, board members. It appears the presentation we have up is actually for the next item, Community Grocery LLC. Could we have the Buccaneer Commission Headquarters presentation? Or we can do it out of order. I don't have my agenda with
Okay, that presentation doesn't seem to be available.
Okay.
Susan.
So we do have before photos and current photos for you. They should have been in your packet for the Buccaneer Commission headquarters. We ran into some supply chain issues with this project. It is over a $2 million project, and our TIRZ incentive amount is $200,000. The exterior improvements specifically are at $407,000. So with our streetscape agreement, we have half of that, which is about $200,000. Work has commenced. There is a significant amount of exterior work that has commenced, but the supply chains have created some issues, and so they're requesting an extension for another year. Johnny Filippello with Buccaneer Days is here with us, and would be happy to answer any questions.
Board, any questions for staff or Mr. Filipino?
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Let me read this. To approve an amendment to extend the project completion date for the reimbursement agreement with the Buccaneer Commission as submitted by staff. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Alyssa, we'll move to the next one. Item number 5, motion to authorize downtown development reimbursement agreement with Lucas Boyd in the amount not to exceed there's a typo on my deal. Is it $53,570 for a development located at 317 People Street?
Correct. Yes, sir. So we are so excited to have a project here before you this morning that has a grocery component. This is something that I know people talk about and really love to recommend for downtown. This project includes some high-end kind of boutique gourmet ingredients that are going to be available to residents and downtown workers and anybody in the area, as well as a ramen bar, a wine bar, and some pre-made goods that'll be available to like take and bake. So we're really excited. Lucas Boyd is here with us. He is a chef. It is also going to have a local food incubation style program that will allow different chefs to come and kind of share their talent and craft with the community. So we're really excited. This is going on the first floor of Nueces Lofts building. So this is going to be a wonderful amenity for the residents of Nueces Lofts. It is about a $240,000 project. We are recommending 2 programs for it, the commercial finish out and a streetscape and safety incentive, and the projected date for completion is May 31st. Next slide. So you can see the current condition of the interior. There's some demo that has occurred for exploratory work. It had previously been utilized as all good fitness for a while, and so there's some plumbing upgrades and electrical upgrades that are required. Next slide. You can see with the exterior, there's some repairs that need to be made to the windows. Specifically, the window panes are rotting, and so those all need to be replaced, as well as additional signage and lighting on the exterior. Next slide. Here's kind of a floor plan where you can see the different components of it. You have that bar right in the middle, the ramen bar to the back, and then the grocery options there to the right, as well as seating to the left. So we think this is going to be another wonderful space that people are really going to enjoy in downtown Corpus Christi. Next slide. Here are some of the interior concepts. So again, you can see what you saw in the aerial, but in a more 3D option, you can see kind of the finishes and the seating area, the bar in the center, and then the shelving for the grocery options there on the bottom right. Next slide. And then the exterior, they'll be adding signage, cameras, lighting, and repairing the windows. Next slide. This is some of the branding associated with the space. Next. And the project costs. So we've identified the commercial finish out costs, the streetscape and safety costs, at about $72,000 for the commercial finish out and about $46,000 for the streetscape. The total project cost is about $244,000. Next slide. And so we are recommending a $53,570 incentive to be completed by May 31st, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I like this project. This is great for downtown. So, board, do I have a motion or a question? Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Staff, anything else? Okay, no further business coming to this board. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.